It was a morning like no other when I stumbled upon the shocking truth of my wife's strange secret. The events that unfolded will captivate your imagination. Before we embark on this journey, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more captivating and surprising tales. As dawn broke, a gentle golden light filtered through the delicate curtains of our bedroom, setting the stage for the day ahead. The dawn broke quietly, a familiar scene shaped by countless mornings spent on the road, yet today, an unusual feeling lingered in the air. In the stillness of the house, an unsettling silence lingered, as if it held secrets waiting to be uncovered. The familiar morning symphony of Anastasia's activity in the kitchen and Jake's cheerful barks was notably missing. I glided down the hallway, the soft carpet absorbing the sound of my footsteps. As I approached the kitchen, an eerie sensation slithered up my spine. In that moment, the air was thick with an unvoiced tension, as if the very atmosphere held secrets waiting to be unveiled. I pushed the door open, and the sight that greeted me sent a chill through my veins. Anastasia stood before me, her back turned, her gestures imbued with a sense of closeness, a familiarity that felt almost personal. But she was kneeling next to Jake, as if comforting him, an odd moment full of emotional tension. Our dog, his tail wagging as if he were in on a secret. "Is that you, Anastasia?" My voice emerged, softly laced with astonishment and a hint of incredulity. She turned, her face aglow, eyes sparkling with a blend of trepidation and an unnameable emotion that eluded my understanding. "Phil, it's not what you believe," she faltered, stepping back from Jake, who gazed at me with those naive, unaware eyes. I stood there, enveloped by the gravity of the scene that had just unfolded before my eyes. "What is it, then?" My voice remained calm, yet within me, chaos was swirling. With a quiver in her hand, she extended it forward. I've been struggling with something I can't explain. It's not physical, it's emotional, a confusing attachment, and I've tried to resist it." Her words unfolded like a tale of vulnerability, a yearning for connection. Yet all I felt was a sudden chill, an unexpected emotional intensity I couldn't shake. The stillness that enveloped us was heavy laden with the untold narratives of our union, the mysteries she had concealed from view. I looked away, the sight of her and Jake etched in my memory, a fragment that clashed with the narrative of the life I believed we had created together. As I stepped outside, a whirlwind of questions started to dance around me. For how long had this tale been unfolding? Why didn't she share that with me? And most hauntingly, what implications did this hold for us for the journey ahead? The revelations I sensed would weave a complex narrative through the essence of our bond, making me ponder whether affection could endure such a twist in our tale. As I stood outside, the crisp morning air did little to lift the haze of uncertainty swirling in my mind. The neighborhood stirred to life, engines revving, birds singing. Yet all that resonated in my mind was the haunting sound of Anastasia's voice, her desperate call for comprehension. I wandered through the streets, my steps leading me past homes that exuded a sense of normalcy, untouched by the turmoil that had just shattered my own world. The scene played in my mind like a haunting melody, each replay urging me to uncover a new narrative, a softer truth, yet the reality remained clear and unyielding. I wandered through the park, a place filled with memories of Jake and our joyful games of fetch. The sight of other dogs and their owners, filled with laughter and joy, stirred something deep within me. Sitting on the bench, I pulled out my phone, my thumb lingering over Anastasia's contact, as if contemplating the tales that could unfold with just a tap. What could I possibly share? What journey lies ahead for us to overcome this challenge? The phone weighed heavily in my hand, embodying a bond that now appeared so delicate. I recalled the day of our union, the way she appeared in her gown, the words we shared, pledges of affection, faith, and loyalty. Commitment. The word now carried a sharp edge. A message from my brother Mark appeared on my screen. "Hey, how are things unfolding for you? It's been some time since we last connected." I gazed at it, the ordinary nature of his words standing in sharp relief to the chaos surrounding me. I crafted a reply, erased it, and then crafted another. Not very good. Shall we gather later? I found myself yearning for a companion, someone who could help me navigate the strange new world I had just entered. Perhaps Mark could weave a narrative that brings clarity, or at the very least offer a welcome diversion from the unending stream of thoughts. As I strolled towards home, the house stood before me, once a haven, now a haunting echo of treachery. The front door stood slightly open, just as I had left it in my rush to flee the oppressive air within. As I crossed the threshold into the house, the silence enveloped me thick with the tension of an approaching clash. The sounds from the kitchen painted a vivid picture, Anastasia bustling about, the gentle clink of dishes and the steady flow of water, creating a symphony of domestic life. She was attempting to maintain a facade of normalcy, hoping that the rhythm of everyday life might help her forget the events that had transpired. I stood by the doorway observing her for a brief moment. "We need to have a conversation," I said, my voice steady yet resolute. She turned, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, her expression weaving together threads of remorse and trepidation. "I know," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "Oh, Phil, I truly regret that you had to learn about it this way." The dialogue that ensued was tense, laden with unspoken truths and subtle dodges. She spoke of therapy and past struggles, yet it all seemed like a narrative crafted to rationalize the irrational. "I need a moment," I said to her, as the burdens of life pressed heavily upon me. "I must take a moment to reflect." With a gentle nod, tears cascaded down her cheeks. "I see, I'll be spending some time with my sister." As she packed a bag, I stood by feeling like a spectator in a tale that wasn't mine, watching the unfolding drama of someone else's journey. The future loomed ahead, shrouded in uncertainty, our marriage teetering on the edge, and all I could do was stand by, hoping for the tempest to subside or for it to carry everything into the abyss. In the living room, I found myself surrounded by a profound stillness, the only interruption being the rhythmic ticking of the clock on the mantelpiece. The house echoed with silence, and Anastasia's absence, a haunting reminder of the turmoil that had transpired. I gazed at the wedding photo hanging on the wall, our smiles captured in a moment now, a painful reminder of what we had turned into. The sound of the doorbell broke through my thoughts, snapping me back to reality. Mark entered, his expression revealing a deep sense of worry. "Bill, can you share what's happening?" There was something different in your voice on the phone. I guided him to the couch, my voice faltering as I spoke. It revolves around Anastasia." I captured her essence, alongside Jake. Mark's eyes grew large, his bewilderment evident. "Hey, Jake, are you referring to your dog?" "Indeed." I spoke the word laden with the burden of my broken existence. She shared that it was beyond her control, revealing that this struggle had been part of her journey for some time. He leaned back, letting the details unfold in his mind. "Wow, that's quite a tale. Have you shared this with anyone else?" I gently shook my head, a silent narrative unfolding in my mind. Only her mother. She shared a tale about therapy, yet it has returned once more. "I'm feeling a bit lost, Mark. How does one even start to navigate through something like this?" Mark leaned in, his voice barely above a whisper. "Prioritize your well-being above all else. Perhaps consider sharing your experiences with a counselor, a person who can guide you through this journey. And what's the story with Jake? What will you do with him?" The inquiry regarding Jake struck me with unexpected force. I had never truly thought about the implications this held for him. I'm uncertain. He's blameless in all of this, yet whenever I gaze at him now, our discussions have turned to the details, the realities of parting ways. Mark mentioned that seeking legal advice could be wise to ensure my protection and to navigate the situation with the house alongside Jake. The notion of attorneys and courtroom struggles seemed like an additional veil of treachery, a solemn recognition that our shared journey had reached its end. As Mark departed, he gave my shoulder a gentle squeeze. "Feel free to go at your own pace, Phil. Whatever path you choose, ensure it resonates with your true self." Once more, I found myself wandering through the house, where every room whispered tales of the past. The kitchen where we crafted meals side by side, The bedroom where we whispered our hopes now seemed like a backdrop for a play I never wished to perform in. I made the choice to pay a visit to Jake, who was residing at a nearby kennel. The drive was serene, yet my mind was a whirlwind of emotions, frustration, uncertainty, and a deep sorrow for the memories that had slipped away. At the kennel, Jake welcomed me with his familiar excitement, his tail wagging unaware of the tempest swirling around him. I knelt down, my hand gently stroking him, a swirl of affection and frustration coursing through me. "What adventures await us, my friend?" I murmured softly, as if sharing a secret with the air around me, rather than with him. Mrs. T. Muzzin, the kennel owner, came forward, her expression warm yet inquisitive. "Is everything all right, Mr. Phil? I've noticed you seem a bit off lately." I paused for a moment, then began to share not the specifics, but the chaos within. Currently navigating through some personal challenges, her eyes sparkled with comprehension as she nodded. In difficult moments, the presence of pets can weave a tapestry of solace and warmth. Perhaps you could share some moments with Jake and see how it goes. The afternoon unfolded with Jake by my side as we engaged in a game of fetch and strolled through the park seeking a hint of normalcy. Yet each laugh and every bark carried the weight of the shadows from my past experiences. As twilight descended, I made my way back the house, standing silent and frigid. As I settled into my chair, a glass of whiskey in hand, the golden hue of the drink reflected the fading light of the sun beyond the window. A message from Anastasia lit up my phone, breaking the silence. "May we have a conversation? I would love the opportunity to share more if you're open to it." I gazed at the message, my finger poised above the reply button, contemplating the tale that would unfold with my response. A part of me yearned for answers, for closure, or maybe just a glimmer of hope. Yet another part trembled at the thought of what she might unveil, worried that gaining insight could lead not to tranquility, but to deeper sorrow. I placed the phone aside, leaving things hanging in the air. The night unfolded before me, vast and unpredictable, mirroring the journey I was about to embark on by myself. The burden of choice felt immense, extending beyond my marriage to encompass my very identity, the limits of my forgiveness, and the path toward mending a wound that was both strange and profound. The house was wrapped in an unsettling stillness, where every creak and whisper seemed to echo through the air, inviting tales of the past to unfold. In the soft glow of the living room, where the shadows danced playfully on the floor, I found myself lost in thought, the street lamp outside providing the only flicker of light. The whiskey in my glass was half gone, the ice cubes long melted, leaving a diluted amber pool that reflected the tales swirling in my mind. Anastasia's message lingered on my phone, waiting for a response. Her words lingered in my thoughts, each syllable a haunting reminder of the betrayal that had fractured our shared existence. Deep down, I understood that I had to address this to meet her gaze. Yet the dread of her words, the possibility of revelations that could tear apart the fabric of our union, kept me rooted in place. The clock on the mantelpiece ticked away each second, weaving a narrative of anticipation for a choice I wasn't prepared to confront. I rose to my feet, the world around me swirling a bit from the drink, and made my way to the window, gazing out into the darkness beyond. Once upon a time, the street lay empty, a tranquil world beyond, unaware of the chaos brewing inside these very walls. I glanced back at the room, my gaze drawn once more to the wedding photo hanging on the wall. The laughter, the vows now seemed like a fading memory, an illusion of what might have unfolded. My heart felt heavy with the burden of the choice that lay ahead. Will I ever see her through the same lens again? Will I ever find it in my heart to trust her once more? The phone buzzed once more, revealing a call from Anastasia. My hand lingered above the device, the tremor coursing through my arm like an electric whisper. I replied, my voice unwavering even as chaos raged within. "Greetings, Phil. I really need to talk to you. I feel the urge to share every detail." Her voice carried a sense of urgency, laced with a hint of desperation. I shut my eyes, the vision of her with Jake dancing in the darkness behind my eyelids. "Where might we find ourselves? Let's meet at the park, the place where we used to gather tomorrow at noon." The park, once a canvas of joy and affection, now carries a shadow of sorrow. All right, I finally managed to utter my voice, just a soft murmur. The call came to a close, leaving me enveloped in silence once again. The choice had been set, yet the anxiety of what the next day would unveil hung heavily in the air. I sensed that this meeting held the potential to spark a journey of healing or seal the fate of our marriage once and for all. The night slipped away, leaving sleep just out of reach. I tossed and turned, plagued by memories of our shared journey of the world we had created and the world that was now falling apart. The dawn arrived unexpectedly, the sunlight breaking through the curtains, a vivid clash against the shadows that lingered inside me. I donned my attire with a sense of purpose, each action bringing me nearer to the impending encounter. The journey to the park unfolded in quietude, the radio silenced, leaving my thoughts as the sole companion on this reflective ride. The park lay in serene stillness, devoid of the typical weekend clamor, as though the universe conspired to grant us the solitude needed for this significant occasion. Anastasia was already present, perched on our bench, her back turned towards me. She appeared diminished, delicate, as though the burden of her choices had taken a tangible toll on her form. As I drew near, each step felt weighty, the gravel beneath me crackling like whispers of a tale waiting to be told. She turned, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, her complexion ashen. "Bill," she began, her voice trembling. I settled into my seat, maintaining a careful distance, a chasm between us, brimming with the echoes of our shared history. "Unravel the tale," I urged, my tone icy, stripped of the affection it once carried for her. With a deep breath, she sat there, her hands twisting nervously in her lap. "It all began following the loss." She started, her voice measured, as if each word carried a weight of its own. "There I was, completely adrift, Phil. The healing journey offered some relief for a time, yet the shadows eventually returned. This desire to experience something, anything, when I was enveloped in such numbness. I absorbed every word, my heart heavy and unyielding within me." Her words unfolded like a narrative, revealing a tale that seemed to weave together justifications for the inexplicable. "What about Jake?" I inquired, the taste of bitterness lingering on my tongue. He was a constant presence, providing solace without a hint of criticism. "I understand it's not right, Phil. I truly do. But in those instances, my mind was quiet and my heart was leading the way." The stillness that ensued was thick, filled with the weight of her revelation. I gazed at her, truly gazed, searching for the woman I once wed, hidden beneath the burdens of guilt and shame. "What tales do you wish to hear from me now, Anastasia? What a profound concept to explore." "Comprehension." "I don't know," she murmured, her cheeks glistening with tears. "I need you to grasp that I'm unwell, Phil. I seek genuine assistance, the kind that truly makes a difference. I long to hear your tales. I feel the urge to share all the details." Her voice carried a sense of urgency laced with a hint of desperation. As I shut my eyes, memories of her with Jake danced vividly in my mind. In what place? That familiar place. The park where our footsteps once echoed. Jake. "How about we meet tomorrow at noon?" The park, once a canvas of joy and affection, now bears the weight of shadows. "All right." I finally managed to utter my voice, just a soft murmur. The call came to a close, leaving me enveloped in silence once again. The choice had been set, yet the anxiety of what the next day held loomed heavily in the air. I sensed that this gathering held the potential to spark a journey toward recovery, or to seal the fate of our union once and for all. The night slipped away, leaving sleep just out of reach. I tossed and turned, plagued by memories of our shared journey, of the dreams we had woven together, and the reality that was now unraveling. The dawn broke with an urgency that felt almost jarring, as the sun's rays cut through the fabric of the curtains, illuminating the shadows that lingered deep inside me. I donned my clothes with a sense of purpose, each action bringing me nearer to the inevitable encounter. The journey to the park unfolded in quietude, the radio silenced, leaving my thoughts to weave their own narratives in the stillness. The park lay still, devoid of the typical weekend clamor, as if the universe conspired to grant us the solitude needed for this significant occasion. Anastasia was already present, perched on our bench, her back turned towards me. She appeared diminished, delicate, as though the burden of her choices had taken a toll on her very being. As I drew near, each step felt weighty, the gravel beneath me crackling like whispers of the past, heralding my presence. She turned, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, her face ashen and drawn. "Phil," she began, her voice trembling. I settled into my seat, maintaining a careful distance, the air around us heavy with the echoes of our shared history. "Unravel the tale." I urged, my tone icy, stripped of the affection it once carried for her. With a deep breath, she sat quietly, her hands intertwined in her lap. "It began after the loss." She started, her voice measured, each word appearing to weigh heavily on her. "There I was, wandering through the shadows, Phil. The therapy provided some relief for a time, yet eventually the issue resurfaced. This desire to experience something, anything, when I was enveloped in such numbness. I absorbed every word, my heart heavy and unyielding within me." Her words unfolded like a narrative, revealing layers of meaning, yet they seemed to weave a tapestry of justifications for the indefensible. "And Jake?" I inquired, the name sharp and unwelcome in my mouth. He was a constant presence, providing solace without a hint of criticism. "I understand the mistake of Phil, I truly do." In those moments, my mind was quiet. I was simply immersed in the emotions swirling around me. The stillness that ensued was thick, filled with the weight of her revelation. I gazed at her, intently searching for the essence of the woman I once wed, hidden beneath the burdens of guilt and shame. "What do you envision for me at this moment, Anastasia?" What a profound concept. Comprehension. "I don't know," she whispered, her voice trembling as tears cascaded down her cheeks. "I just want you to grasp that I'm unwell, Phil. I seek assistance, genuine assistance." The atmosphere surrounding us was heavy with unspoken words, the park serving as a quiet observer to the disintegration of our union. I rose to my feet, the choice vivid in my thoughts at that moment. "This is something I cannot overlook, Anastasia. Not at this moment, perhaps not at all. It's important for you to seek the assistance you need, but I won't be able to accompany you on that path. Our journey has come to an end." She gazed at me, her eyes swirling with a tempest of feelings. "Please don't, Phil." "Apologies." I interrupted her, my tone steady but wavering. "In this moment, my journey leads me to the decision of releasing what no longer serves me as a way to safeguard my well-being." I turned and walked away, each step laden with the gravity of an ending. The park, once a realm of happiness, now resonated with the whispers of our conclusion. As I approached my car, I took a moment to look back. Anastasia remained on the bench, a lone silhouette amidst the remnants of our broken aspirations. As I drove away, a sense of closure wrapped around me, marking the end of a chapter. The path before us was shrouded in mystery, yet a single truth stood out brightly. I found myself on a journey, navigating the path by myself. The life we had crafted had come to an end, yet maybe with time I could discover a new journey, one where trust and love could bloom once more, free from the shadows of betrayal. The park slipped away behind me, in the rearview mirror, taking with it the echoes of a life I once believed was steadfast. The journey home felt like a haze, my thoughts circling around our exchange, her tears, the weight of my final words. The journey of my decision unfolded like a tale, filled with both the exhilaration of freedom and the heaviness of doubt, a complex narrative of feelings intertwining within me. I drove into the driveway, the house standing before me now merely a shell stripped of the comfort it once embraced. The stillness enveloped me, a sharp counterpoint to the tumult swirling in my mind. I wandered through the rooms, each one resonating with tales now colored by a sense of loss. The kitchen filled with laughter over charred meals, the living room, where we enjoyed films together. Our bedroom, where whispers of dreams floated in the stillness of the night. I paused at the wedding photo, our smiles captured forever, a reflection of a love that couldn't weather the tempest. With a weighty spirit, I removed it, the frame seeming to float away from the heaviness it symbolized. I tucked it away in a drawer, not hidden from view, but rather to escape the constant echo of what had slipped away. The following days unfolded like a whirlwind of legal meetings, packing boxes, and the intricate choreography of parting ways. Mark stood by my side, a constant figure guiding me through the maze of paperwork as we separated the threads of our intertwined lives into distinct paths. Jake, still at the kennel, lingered in my thoughts like an unfinished tale, a chapter of our life I couldn't yet bring to a conclusion. One evening, as I sat in solitude, the silence wrapped around me heavy with echoes of the past and endless possibilities. If you found this tale captivating, be sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts. This will assist us in crafting more captivating narratives for you.